So I'm Jonathan English, and I'm one of the co-founders of Skeleton Productions. We're a new kind of video production company. What we've done is we've invested in human talent and technology, which enables us to deliver everything from high-end bespoke video production through to low-cost but high-volume video adverts for the small business, the SME market. And I think that's really one of our USPs over our competitors is our ability to deliver these low-cost products. We've been able to do that by really creating two major assets. The first of which is we've built a network of now almost 5,000 freelance filmmakers across the UK and Europe. And what that enables us to do is eliminate the traditional costs of a normal production company trying to deliver video content across the country, which is travel. And so we can take advantage of these local freelancers that can produce work for us, and that strips out the costs and keeps the price down and enables small businesses to essentially tell their story and get a great marketing tool together that they can use to promote their businesses. And the second thing that we've done to help facilitate this model is build a video management system that lets us manage this whole process, from managing the filmmaker network to taking orders through the system, contacting the client, enabling the client to submit assets and information to us, enabling them to review their video, feed back to us, and finally the system communicates back to our partners that we work with and publishes the video content on the web automatically through to sites such as YouTube, which I'm sure you've all heard of. And that's really, the business model for us is very much about building and forming partnership relationships. These partners typically include Yellow Page companies such as Touch Local and Scoot, and a recent one we just acquired is InfoServe PLC that run City Visitor, and also publishing companies as well. And these companies already have access to the SME market, so they're essentially reselling our video adverts, these low-cost products on our behalf. So that's a little bit about what we do. In terms of 2011, looking backwards, achievements for us, we've grown our filmmaker network carefully from around 3,000 companies last year when I was speaking with James at Hearts, up to around 5,000 now. We've taken on 2 new members of staff, so our core team is now up to seven people, which is great. We've taken on new partners. EMAP have come on board, and so has InfoServe, as I said earlier, which has enabled us to drive more turnover and products to our business through the platform. We've now created almost 1,500 of these small video adverts. We've also got a great customer satisfaction score. So we speak every day with small businesses around the country, and we're really proud to say that 93% of them are satisfied with the service that we deliver. We really try and look after the small business community, essentially. We've also won a great viral video campaign in December, just literally a few weeks ago, for a UK university, and that's going to involve using, again, some of our technology, different technology in this case, to interact with Facebook and create what we think is going to be a really cool viral campaign. So I hope that you will hear about that in 2012. And finally, as you can see from our photo, we've developed some very sophisticated human cloning technology, which we also look to commercialize in 2012. But I think Toby wanted all of us to just mention a little bit about Nottingham. And so really just to wrap up, I wanted to say a few words about Nottingham and why it's a great place to be based. Both myself and James went to the University of Nottingham, graduated with degrees. I went on to do a master's in entrepreneurship with the UNIEI, and I think Simon Mosey and Dan Edge are both here. The UNIEI's kindly sponsoring tonight. So that really helped me, and I think both meet James, my business partner, but also have a sense of belief and understanding of what was required to start your own business. The lab facilities that were also available to us free of charge as graduates from the university were a great incubator. They gave us access to experts that helped us refine our ideas, IP questions, legal questions. Shakespeare's, I think, who are also in the room, have become a great supplier of ours for legal work, but we met them through the lab. So it's a great facility for us as recent graduates at the time to help develop our business in a kind of safe environment. We've kind of graduated from the lab space now a few years ago, and we're now tenants at the UN at the UNIP Science Park, which is adjacent to the university, the same place that Nick Barker is based. And there's a great hub down there of small businesses that are all very entrepreneurial, innovative, and trying to take things forward. That's a really supportive network. I should also mention that the university was one of our first clients. So we just feel that Nottingham's such a great space. It's geographically located centrally, which is, for us, we're trying to serve the whole country. It's a good place to be based. But I think just finally that the culture as well in Nottingham is fantastic. Things like the Invest in Nottingham Club and the creative class have been really instrumental in, for me anyway, discovering all of the fantastic businesses that are going on. I didn't know half of the companies here before we joined this creative class last year. And I think it's about making sure we communicate as loudly as possible what's going on. It's very easy as an entrepreneur to be stuck, buried away in your work and not really lift your head up. But when you do, you realise that Nottingham's got a hell of a lot going on, really. And yeah, we're really proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Again, Jonathan, thank you. It's fantastic what you've achieved, and certainly entrepreneurism is at the heart of everything that you're doing here. Last year, there was a conference held, I think it was in Southampton, by Google. And one of the keynote speakers that invited to talk at the conference was George Osborne. And he also stayed and listened to some of the presentations. And one of the Americans, after the presentation, George asked him the question, what do we have to do in Britain to create more entrepreneurial businesses like Google, Facebook, and so on, to leverage the opportunities on social networking? And the American was somewhat taken aback. He says, don't you realize just how many companies in Britain are already doing that? Johnny Ive, for example, who's the chief creative officer for Apple, is a Brit. How do we help you market what you do and have more companies know about what it is that you have to offer?
That's a good question. I think as I alluded to, even in Nottingham, we're based in the city, and I had no idea of some of these companies. So I think there is a gap there in terms of getting the message out about small businesses. But I think it is changing. I think the excitement is growing, and recently entrepreneurship has become quite sexy. Things like Dragon's Den, although that's a bit of, really it's just a TV show rather than reality, is helping to raise awareness. But I think culturally as well, there's a big shift. A big difference in America is they're natural born sellers, and they're not afraid to try and fail. In the UK, if you fail, if you go through bankruptcy, it's seen as a negative thing. And I think there's a bit of that baggage. The stiff upper lip thing doesn't always do us the biggest favor. So I think it's about trying to lose some of that baggage and not being afraid of shouting about yourself, blowing your own trumpet.
I think that's very well said. And of course, a business like yours, if it succeeds, supporting those SMEs, the probability is those SMEs in turn also go on and do very well. So I think it's important that businesses like yours are encouraged to grow and develop here.
Hopefully we can help them too, and it's a nice kind of symbiotic relationship, really.
Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.